Let's get started right away from tabletop position. So finding your way up onto your hands and your knees. Spread your fingers really wide and press into the pads of each individual finger. And just start to take some movement through your body, through your spine, maybe some lateral movement of the ribs or the hips. You could make circles, you could arch, you could round. Just do whatever feels good. Close your eyes, and as you move, connect to your breath. Notice if your body wants to move in more like subtle ways today, or maybe your movements are more broad, more exaggerated. Let it be whatever it is. With your breath, let the inhalations fill your body, creating new space, and the exhalations releasing anything stale, sending the exhale breaths through any points of tension to create release. Just stay one more breath in and one more breath out. Now take a few rounds of cat-cows, inhaling to arch the back, lifting the tailbone, draw your heart forward, turn your eyes up to the sky and feel the contraction of the back body. When you breathe out, press down, swallow in and up through your core, rounding the spine, draw your chin toward your chest. Again, breathing in, open up into your arched position, tail, heart, and eyes lifting. Exhale, press down, round, and curl through your spine. One more, inhale. And exhale. Make your way back to neutral in the spine. Spin your fingers so they point back towards your thighs or as far as they'll go so that it's relatively comfortable. And keeping the spread of the fingers, rock your weight a little bit forward and a little bit back, just opening into the wrists and the hands and the forearms so that maybe we can play into some arm balancing later on if that is fun or in your practice today. Bring your palms back to point forward. Tuck your toes behind you. Take a breath in. And then when you breathe out, lift your knees and send your hips really slowly up and back into downward facing dog. Throughout this practice, play with the pace of your movements. Sometimes we can feel so much by going really slow and getting steady. And other days or in other moments, sometimes the energetic movement, quicker movement can create some kind of shift that serves really well. So feel free to take things at your own pace. You don't have to go at the speed that I'm cueing. In down dog, wiggle around. Take some pedaling of the feet, massaging out the hips, the side bodies. Turn your head side to side, relaxing the back of the neck. And then start to get a little bit steadier, pressing your palms deeply into the earth, pressing them down and then toward the top of your mat. Micro bend into your knees and see if you can curve the tip of your tailbone toward the sky to create more space in your lower back. Take a full breath in and a full breath out. Next, inhale, lift your heels, rounding through your spine, shift forward into a high plank so your shoulders are over your wrists. Squeeze your whole front body to your back body. When you breathe out, grow longer. Keep rooting into your finger pads and lower halfway, chaturanga, from the toes or the knees. Then sink your pelvis to the earth. Untuck your toes, breathe in, float your heart and float your hands just a few inches off the ground into a baby cobra. Squeeze the fronts of your thighs, draw your elbows and your upper arm bones back and stretch your heart forward. Take one more breath in. Now breathing out, float your feet and float your thighs. Squeezing toward the midline through the inner lines of the legs. One more breath in, grow. Breathe out, palms by the ribs. Tuck your toes. Send your hips back towards your heels, but reach your heart forward, coming into an active child's pose. Then inhale to round through your spine, coming onto hands and knees into a cat pose. With your exhalation, lift your knees, float your hips up and back to the sky, down dog. Take 3 breaths here. Ironing the breath along the length of your spine and up and down the back lines of the legs. Breathe in, Lift your heels, round your spine, come forward, high plank, close your ribs. When you breathe out, keep the press, just lower halfway, chaturanga. Untuck the toes, inhale, lift your heart, lift your hands, lift your feet, lift your thighs, and stretch your arms wide to the sides this time. When you breathe in, arms forward beside your ears. When you breathe out, glide your fingertips back in space and lift up 1 inch higher. One more breath in. Breathe out, palms by the ribs, tuck the toes, pressing through tabletop and back to active child's pose, heart forward, hips back. Inhale, round through your spine, come into cat pose, hands and knees. And exhale, claw the mat as you lift your knees and your hips. All the way back into downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Ujjayi pranayama, in and out through the nose. With your next breath in, start to look forward to your thumbs. As you breathe out, travel to the top of your mat in whatever way you like. You can come high onto the balls of your feet and take little tiptoes, or maybe roll through your feet, opening up the soles of the feet, whatever you want to do. Landing at the top in a ragdoll. So bend your knees a lot, drop everything heavy over the thighs. Catch on to either the back of your head or opposite elbows as you take a few breaths here. Finding the waterfall effect forward through your spine, rinsing away anything sticky. If the hands are at the back of the head, you can use your thumbs to give the base of your neck a little massage. Take one more breath in. One more breath out. Now root your right fingertips down to the mat in front of your face. Bend your right knee deeply. Stretch up through the front of your left thigh, and then start to spiral so that your left fingertips reach up and the right side of your ribs is turning toward the left. Keeping the hips relatively stable, shift your weight just slightly left and notice if you can find more opening into the lateral side of your left leg, your outer hip and thigh. Then lift and spread your left toes. Take one more breath in. Good. Now, as you breathe out, just turn your eyes down towards your left big toe, root it to the earth. Come high onto the ball of your right foot, and then see if you can kick your right heel in towards your sit bone. Squeeze your inner thighs, breathing in. When you breathe out, cross your right knee behind your left one. Thread your leg all the way out to the side, bending into the left knee. Slowly sink all the way down into a twisted seat. So the right sit bone lands, and then the left one. Your right leg gets extended forward. Send your left fingertips to the base of the spine. Breathe in and lift up through your right side. When you breathe out, twist. Right elbow to outer left thigh. Take an inhalation. With your exhalation, revolve. One more breath in. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. And exhale. It's like you're trying to squish all of the breath out of your body. Good. Unwind. Pivot to face the top of your mat. Root all 10 of your fingertips forward. You can turn your left toes a little more forward. Just have your knee tracking in the same line as your toes. Take a breath in to prepare. When you breathe out, see if you can roll onto the left foot. Glide your right heel back in towards your sit bone. And then inhale, stretch your right leg long and back behind you. Coming into a standing L position. When you breathe out, reach your right toes far to the back of the mat and land them there. With the inhalation, press into your feet. Rise all the way up to standing in a high crescent lunge. Your back thigh is really charged. When you breathe out, just settle into the rooting of your feet. Take one more inhale breath. And with your exhalation, circle your palms to the mat. Inhale, glide your hips a little bit back in space, stretching the left leg more towards straight. When you breathe out, think like cat pose in the spine. Get super rounded. Squeeze through your core, pick up your left foot, and step back into downward facing dog. With your next breath in, lift your heels, look forward. When you breathe out, travel to the top of your mat, meeting in a folded position here. Breathe in. This time, take a halfway lift, ironing through your spine, crown of head forward, tailbone back. And breathe out, bow, forward fold. Root your left fingertips in front of your face. Bend your left knee deeply. Right leg straight-ish. And then start to revolve from your waistline up, turning your right arm and both of your eyes to the sky. Lift and spread your right toes as you glide your pelvis a little more toward the right. Take a breath in. Good, breathing out. Turn your eyes down towards your right big toe. Root it. You can root into your left palm, shifting the weight into your right foot. Kick your left heel in toward your sit bone. Breathe in. When you breathe out, cross your left knee behind your right one. Squeeze your inner thighs. Kick your left leg all the way through to the right. Bring the knife edge of your foot down, and then bend your right knee to slowly sink yourself all the way down to a twisted seat. Kind of a funky transition, so come down however you can. Take your right fingertips down to the base of your spine. Breathe in and stretch up through your left side body. Breathing out to twist. Left elbow outside the right thigh. Every inhale breath, feel the rising of energy from your toes up through your spine. Every exhale breath, turning in just a little bit deeper. One more breath in. One more breath out. Start to unwind, facing the top of the mat once again. Bring your palms down. Have your right knee pointing in the same direction as your big toe. As you press into the earth, lift your hips. Root your fingertips forward and wide and stretch your left leg straight back behind you. Breathe in to come into standing L. Elongate through your spine. When you breathe out, bend your right knee. Step your left foot to the back of the mat. Rooting into both big toes. Press down, rise to standing high crescent lunge. When you breathe out, sink and settle down from the waistline to the earth. From the waistline up, you're lifting. One more breath. With your exhalation, palms circle down to the mat. Breathing in, prepare by sending your hips back in space. Pick up your left heel really high. When you breathe out, press straight down, round your spine. Squeeze your core, pick up your right foot, and step back into down dog. Once you come into down dog, breathing, make some circles through your ankles. So rolling the top of one foot down and then the other. See how much you can open up through the feet. And let this be kind of free form. So whatever you want to do. Sometimes I like to stand on the tops of the feet. That might not be super comfortable. So if that doesn't work for you, don't do that. But just see what you can find that is sweet and interesting for you. Next, breath in. Stretch your right leg high to the sky, coming into three-legged down dog. Stack your right hip on top of your left one and then kick your heel in toward your butt. Make some circles here. Open things up. Let this be another time for playful exploration. And then switch the direction of your circles. Breathe in, stretch high through your right toes. When you breathe out, lift your left heel, hollow your core, hug your right knee to your nose, hold and squeeze, press the ground away from you for 3. For 2, feel the heat in your core for 1. Inhale, three-legged down dog, right leg to the sky. Exhale, right knee threads toward left tricep. Extend your leg all the way through to the left, knife edge of the foot to the earth. Then pivot your left heel down, bend your knee a little. With your inhale breath, rise up into a fallen triangle. Feel the rooting of your feet. You can spiral your right bicep more forward and your tricep back. Left hand can reach all the way up over your head, or maybe catch the back of your head in your hand. Take one more breath in. As you breathe out, pivot to face the top of your mat. Root your left palm. Hug your right knee into your chest. And then slowly sink the knife edge of your left foot down. So the inside of your foot now is parallel to the back of the mat. Step your right toes off the mat behind you and begin to open up into Wild Thing. Take it easy in this first Wild Thing, scooping your left shoulder blade to the back of your heart to support you. One more breath in. Good. Breathing out. Turn to stack the right side of your body over the left side. And imagine you're skating. Just drag your right toes all the way around and forward to the top of your mat. And we'll meet in a twisted lunge. So step into the right foot, knee over the ankle. Turn your right fingertips up to the sky. Squeeze your shoulder blades behind you. Full breath in. Breathing out, look to the top of your mat. Send your right fingertips forward and wide. Press into your right foot and rise up into half moon, stacking left hip on top of the right one. If you need a block under your right fingertips, you're welcome to take that. Tuck your right sit bone underneath of you. Press into the earth and then squeeze up through your outer left hip to lift your leg higher. Maybe challenging the balance by turning your eyes to the sky. Stay here. Or option to add the Chipasana variation. Kick your left heel in and catch your foot in the air. Once you found a connection of hand and foot, begin to kick your left leg straight back. Peel back on your left shoulder. Keep plugging into your right big toe. Let's take one more full breath in. And breathe out. Pivot to face the top of your mat and just come into a forward fold. Breathe in. Halfway lift. Breathe out. Either just fold or option to play into crow. If you're playing, palms root down. Claw the mat with your fingertips. Turn your eyes a little bit forward to the top of the mat. Lift your heels, bend your elbows back like chaturanga arms. And then see how high you can root your knees onto the shelf of your triceps. Magnetize your inner thighs, hug through your core. Play with just shifting the weight on the hands, maybe floating one set of toes off the ground, maybe both. Just take a couple breaths playing in crow. We're gonna meet back in down dog. So if you'd like, shoot your legs back into chaturanga, maybe playing with that transition or step back. Breathe in, upward facing dog. And when you breathe out, hips to the sky, downward facing dog. Full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, stretch your left leg to the sky, three-legged down dog. Stack your hip, bend the knee. Open things up here with a couple of circles, revolutions, and breath. Go in both directions. And then square your hips. Inhale, stretch high through your left toes. When you exhale, lift your right heel, hollow into your core. Hug your left knee to your nose. Press the ground away from you. See if you can bring them to touch and squeeze for 3, 2, good, 1. Inhale, three-legged down dog. Exhale, left knee toward right tricep, crossing the midline of the body. Then extend your left leg through to the right. Knife edge of the foot down. Pivot your right heel down, bending the knee. And then press into the earth and find your way into fallen triangle. Root your right big toe. Maybe catch the back of your head with your hand. Take a full breath in. And as you breathe out, pivot to face toward the top of your mat. Right palm down, pivot your right toes forward. Hug your left knee to your chest as you transition to spin your right foot down but the opposite way. So inside of the foot aligned with the back of the mat. Left toes drop off behind you and then open yourself into wild thing. You can do whatever you want with your left arm. Take one more breath in. And then as you breathe out, turn your right toes more toward the side. Start to stack the left side of your body on the right side. Squeeze your right obliques and drag your left toes all the way around to the top of the mat, landing softly, maybe, in a lunge. Bending into the left knee, turn your left arm to the sky, coming into easy twist. One more breath in, pull your feet toward one another. Hug your outer left hip toward the midline and lengthen through your heart. With the breath out, circle your left fingertips forward and wide on your mat. Press into your left foot and launch up into half moon. Take your time to let the balance calibrate. You can look down to start. Scoop your left sit bone underneath of you. And then maybe activate more into your outer right hip to glide your leg higher in space. You can play with the focus of your eyes. Add Shavasana variation if you'd like. Kick your right heel in, catch your foot with your right hand. Then flex your toes into your hand, and as your shin stretches back, feel an equal opposite action of your heart reaching forward. Take one more breath in, and breathing out, come into a forward fold at the top of your mat. Good. Take a breath in, halfway lift. As you breathe out, bow down, forward fold. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Halfway lift. This time playing into crow one more time if you'd like. Maybe going into Ekapada bakasana, playing for a couple breaths on each side. If you would like, floating the feet, then keep the heels squeezing tight toward the sit bones. See if maybe you can release one knee from a tricep and try to kick your legs straight back behind you. Keep hugging the midline with the elbows. Just playing. Some days it happens, some days it doesn't. That's okay. Keep it even on your sides though. So if you tried one side, go ahead and take it to the other and just remain playful, unattached to the outcome of this. Keep leaning your heart forward if you're taking that leg extension back.
And once you've had enough, come into a squat malasana at the top of the mat. If you want to stay longer in crow, maybe play around a little bit more, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, coming into your squat, take your palms to prayer at heart center and just sink into the hip creases for a couple breaths. You can soften or close your eyes. Try to feel the breath rising up and down your spine. Add a twist. Hook your left shoulder and upper arm forward of your shin. Step your left fingertips wide on your mat and then turn your right arm up to the sky. Follow your thumbnail with your eyes. Full breath in. Breathing out, come back to the center. And then twist right upper arm forward of your shin, fingertips wide. Breathe in, turn your left arm up. Stay for the breath out. One more inhale. And exhale. Coming down to a seat, pivoting the torso through center. Use your hands if you need assistance coming down. We're going to move into boat pose, Navasana. Hug your knees together. Take the hands to the backs of the legs for support or stretch your fingertips forward. Spread your toes. Legs can be bent or maybe stretch your legs straight. Keep your breath steady. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Play with bringing the arms beside the ears if you'd like a little bit more heat here. Full breath in. Full breath out. Now, inhale. When you exhale, kick your heels in towards your sit bones. Lean forward and see if you can come up into a squat without using your hands. And then sinking back down into boat without using the hands. Just moving back and forth between these two positions. Again, we're just playing. No pressure. Drop any seriousness. Inhale, finding Navasana. Exhale, heels in. Squeeze your core. Lean your arms and your chest forward to come through to your squat. And then sink back to your seat. One more time. Inhale, boat pose. Exhale, Malasana. Breathing in your squat. Breathe out and sink your hips all the way down to the earth. Walk your feet forward. Breathe in, stretch your fingertips forward. When you breathe out, slowly roll all the way down to lying on your back. Place your palms down. Lift your feet toward the sky. Take a breath in. When you breathe out, press straight down into the earth and see if you can come up into plow, taking the feet all the way back over the head. Catch onto your lower back with your hands. Hug your shoulder blades toward one another underneath of you. And then stay here, or if you'd like, playing into shoulder stand. Make sure your head stays stationary, so the gaze is not moving left and right. You're just looking straight up toward your toes. Energize past the tips of your toes. Feel how supported you are with the upper back on the ground. And letting energy drain out of the lines of the legs. One more breath in. Good. Breathing out. Re-anchor your feet to the earth behind you, coming into plow. And then slowly roll back down your spine, one vertebra at a time. You can release your palms for support as you lower. Now bending into your knees. Squeeze yourself into a tight hug here, wrapping the forearms around the shins. Take a full breath in. And as you breathe out, see if you can rock all the way up into Navasana once again. Take a breath in. Breathing out, come into your squat. Malasana, inhale. Exhale, lift your hips, fold forward. Uttanasana. Good. We're going to play into some handstand practice. So we're going to take handstand hops, come into a downward facing dog. So if you want to chaturanga back to it, you're welcome to. Otherwise, just step your feet to the back of the mat. And then from down dog, have your left foot in just slightly closer to your hands, like a footprint or a half a footprint's distance. Breathe in, stretch your right leg high, lift your left heel. When you breathe out, swing your right leg down, bend your left knee, and then take a little hop. Trying to stack your hips on top of your shoulders. Keep some engagement between your inner thighs. Claw the mat with your fingertips. And maybe catching a little bit of air time up into a handstand. Maybe not today. Just try to stay playful with it. If you want to come by a wall,
for a little bit of extra support in your handstand, you're welcome to do that. Just playing for a couple more breaths. And we'll meet back in downward facing dog unless you want to play longer. You are welcome to. Other side. So right foot in a little bit closer. Coming high onto the ball of your right foot as you stretch your left leg to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, swing your left leg down, bend your right knee, and then kick up and claw. Really think of like pressing the ground away from you as you try to stack your hips over your shoulders. You might find you have one side like me, it's a little less confident, and that is totally normal, totally okay. So just keep it playful. Couple more hops. Maybe catching a little bit of airtime. Maybe not, no worries. And once you've had enough, coming back into downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. Big sigh out of your mouth, let that go. One more time, inhale. Open mouth, exhale. Lift your heels. Bring your knees to the mat. Take the knees wide. Big toes together. Sit your hips all the way back to your heels. And crawl yourself out into child's pose. You can keep it active, digging down into the finger pads, pulling the shoulders away from the ears, or take more of a passive child's pose, just letting your body relax onto the earth. We're staying here for 3 more breaths. Feel the softness in your belly. Feel the softness in your face. And feel as though all your muscles are melting off of your bones. And the bones themselves are melting into the earth. One more breath in. One more breath out. Press down. Come through tabletop and just into a comfortable seated position. Sukhasana. Bow your right ear towards your right shoulder, catching on to the side of the head with your hand, and then extend your left fingertips out beside you. Now from here, circle your left top of hand to your back, kind of bringing it into the space between the shoulder blades, or as high as it'll go on your back without you having to force it. And just breathing more space into the neck here. Getting soft through the shoulders. Close your eyes if it's comfortable for you. One more breath in. One more breath out. Come up through the center and then take your left ear towards your left shoulder. Right fingertips wide beside you. Spin your palm so it faces back in space, and then attach the top of your hand somewhere along your back body toward the midline of the spine. Easy, steady breaths. Feel the breath filling all the way to the surface of your collarbones with the inhalation. And with the exhalation, rinsing away tension. And then lift your head and release your arms. Just come into a seat, palms facing up or down. Soften or close your eyes. Take a full breath in through your nose. And a breath out through your nose. Now inhale through your nose for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the top of the breath. Lift your pelvic floor and tuck your chin, holding. Exhale through your nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom of the breath for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift the pelvic floor, tuck the chin, relax into your breath retention. So soften the shoulders. And then breathe out for 4 through the nose. 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom. 4, 3, 2, 1. Next inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain the breath at the top for 5. Exhale slow. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause for a count of 5.
3, 1. Inhale, 5. If you start to get dizzy or lightheaded, just return to natural breaths. Otherwise, pausing at the top, holding for a count of 5, 3, 1. Exhale, steady, smooth breath out of the nose. 3, 2, 1. Holding 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now inhale, 6, 5. Fill the lungs. 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath in your chest for 6, 5, 4. Soft face. 2, 1. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, hold. 3, 2, 1. Last round. Inhale, 6. Retain at the top. Slow breath out, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause at the bottom. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your nose. Start to bring your breath back to a more natural, steady, intuitive place. And take a pause here in stillness. Let yourself notice all the effects of this slow, controlled breathing. And see if there have been any changes to your state as a result of this playful movement exploration. Sometimes physical openings, maybe a shift in your mental state or your mood or your emotional space, maybe an energetic shift, and just see what's here. Draw your palms to prayer at heart center and commit to incorporating this idea of playing, of exploring into your day ahead and maybe even your week ahead. Noticing if, in doing so, you're able to open yourself up to more spontaneity, to more possibilities. And take a full breath in. Big breath out, let it go. And from here, you are more than welcome to stay seated, breathing, maybe take a little meditation, or come down to lying on your back in Shavasana if you have time to rest. But I will leave you here for this practice. Thank you so much for sharing this playful exploration with me today. I hope you're feeling good in your body. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, you can do that down below. You can also join as a monthly donation member, and both of these really help to support me and my channel. Have a great rest of your day or your night, and I'll see you soon in the next class. Bye.